Hi.
Hi,
Oh shoot. Hold on. How you doing?
can you hear me?
Yeah, I
I'm
can
good. How
hear
are
you.
you?
I was kind of. I'm. I'm great. Wow. This is really special to me. Thank you so much for doing this with me.
Yeah, thanks for
Uh,
having me.
Absolutely. This is really important to me as doing this. So I don't know if anything will top this for me right now, but uh, you're kind of cut at
Yeah,
your. There you go.
better. Yeah, sorry. I was like, I don't know if I want to hold this for I don't know how long.
All right. So how's quarantine treating you? Uh,
Quarantine is not bad. It's weird. You're probably the first person I've talked to face that I don't know for like 2 months now.
really? Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah, it's very weird. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, quarantine has taken its toll on me. I mean, look at my facial hair. I mean, like it's crazy. I need a
Yeah.
haircut and
I
stuff.
know,
It's
me
like,
too. That's why I have this mustache. I would never wear it in public.
yeah. So, are you the oldest out of your siblings? Because I know you have brothers and stuff like that.
Yeah. I am the oldest of my biological siblings. So I have, I think it's eight. Last time I checked, it was eight,
Hmm.
but they're not
Okay.
all biological. I
Okay.
consider them the same, but they aren't always that. I'm the oldest of kids on my dad's side, and then I have sisters. One sister that's older than me.
Okay.
She's like 26 or something. I don't know how old she is, but
Okay. Do you guys get along well?
yeah, I think so. I was just on
Yeah.
the phone with my little sister for like 3 hours yesterday doing like
Oh.
animoji challenges where we just like we try to make whatever comes to our mind and we have a competition to see who can like fulfill that image the
Hmm.
best.
Right.
We did like rainbow people and cheese people. It's fun. But yeah, we all get along. It's we all live in different places though, so I don't get to see them so much.
Oh, okay. I understand.
Yeah.
I know you're a filmmaker. What other hobbies do you have?
Um, that's a good question. I don't know. I kind of do everything that it's kind of like a time thing, right? Like
Right.
for a period of time, like could be years, I might be interested in something and then something else comes along, or it doesn't necessarily become less interesting to me. So, I'm a musician, so like I was a composer, wanted to be a composer for film and television. I've done a little bit. And then now I'm like songwriting because that's just something that's interesting to me now. But I never would have done it
Okay.
like 2 years ago or even a year ago. So, it's kind of just whatever, um, is available at the moment. Because quarantine, you don't have to go anywhere. You can just kind of sit there and like mess around with an instrument and you have nowhere to be. So,
Right.
or I don't have anywhere to be. I don't know about you, but
Oh no,
maybe that's not a
definitely
statement
not.
for
Like,
everybody, but I don't have anywhere to
yeah,
be.
I don't. Yeah, most definitely. This is why I'm doing the interviews and stuff. So, keep me
Yeah.
busy and stuff. Like I never thought, if I'm to be honest with you, if you would have told me that I'd be interviewing you or like a bunch of different other people, like I want to say like last year, I would have laughed at you because I never would have thought this to be possible. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Excuse my hair. Yeah,
No, no,
no.
it's fine.
This is really cool. I was excited that somebody wanted to talk about anything. I've been quarantining with the same two people for
Oh,
this
okay.
entire thing. So I'm just like I'm open to the freshness. They can hear me right now, so I'm being a little rude, but
It's
how's
fine.
your quarantine going? What are you up to? Where are you at? Because you're in Eastern time, right?
Yeah, I'm in
Yeah.
I live in Georgia. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
Cool.
are you
Yeah.
in Arizona?
Yeah.
Okay, I
Northern
was about to
Arizona.
ask. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I get these time zones confused all the time, so
Yeah.
I just
I
want
didn't
to
know it
let
was
you know.
daylight. It's usually because it's an hour apart from PST Pacific Standard, and that's done. But I didn't know it started, and then I didn't know it ended. So
Right.
I honestly thought this. I walked out there just to get coffee before this, and I was like, either this starts in 5 minutes or it starts in an hour. I don't know what time it is. Um,
Yeah,
but I did the math. I have no idea. I can't do time. So
I can't
uh,
really either.
yeah,
It's
I don't
fine.
have a concept.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
understand. What do you love most about filmmaking? Because I want to get into film too. So, what's your
Oh,
thoughts
okay.
with? Yeah.
Um, it kind honestly, it's the group dynamic. I like collaborating with people. Like I have stuff that I do that nobody else can help me with, like any of my writing or anything like that. Like the stuff before you make movies or before you do, you have to write the songs before you can record them or whatever. Write the music before you can, do all that. So it's filmmaking for me is like it's fun writing. I have a lot of fun writing. Like I'll sit there and I'll divulge so much information, and I'll write pages and pages that I'll never use, and
Right.
I like that. But for me, what the best part is that one day I'm gonna work with like 50 people on it, which is not everybody's favorite part.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, that's a
Most
lot.
people are like that for them. I feel like at least a lot of the filmmakers I know, it's kind of like that part's the worst
Right.
because we're a little reclusive.
Right.
Um,
I get it.
but for me, it's like I love sitting down with my editor. I love sitting down with my DP. I love sitting down and going with the actors and being like, "Well, what do you think?" And like, let's do the scene X amount of times. It's fun.
Right.
So, um, yeah, collaboration. I would say that. I also really like the individual parts of filmmaking. So like, um, I call them stages, but in any filmmaking, there's like pre-production, production, post-production.
Right. Yeah.
Um, I like every individual department in that. Like, I love looking at everything the DP is doing and like really focusing on that. Like, what kind of lighting are we using? Where are we shooting? How do we, tarp this up, or how do we make it the brightest it can be? That stuff's really interesting to me. And we'll sit there and we'll talk about it for hours and hours and hours just to do like 5 minutes. So, and I apply that level of attention to like every section of the process, just because I'm very hands on. For me, it's like building something, right?
Right.
Like I don't know how else to describe it, but
Yeah. No, I get what you mean completely.
it's very weird for like for something that starts out as like a reclusive activity. It really turns into like a party. It's kind of like a party. And you
Right.
have to go to really
Right.
uncomfortable places with people. Like when we shot here, I mean, it's three bedrooms, um, and then a kitchen and living room area kind of like together. And we had probably 10 people in here that didn't know each other, just like
Wow.
for like 5 days, just doing crazy shit. And that was fun for me. That's like the best part is when you see all those individual elements kind of play together or not. Sometimes it doesn't work at all.
Right.
I mean, what do you do? Have you done anything like short film
Any
or?
film? Yeah. Me. I mean, it's not nothing major like you're doing, like we're about to talk about, but we did. I'm in a film and audio class, and we did a PSA for like seatbelt driving or like poison control or something like that. I mean, like it's nothing major, but we have done our stuff. So, yeah,
Oh,
I do
cool.
want to work on some. I do want to work on some things by myself. Like I have ideas. I have a whole big blue book of ideas. Like I just write down film
Yeah,
ideas and stuff
that's
like
good.
that. I'll get to it one day, but that's just there. I would love to do it. So yeah, I do have plans to take it forward and take it to the next step. Like I just the way my brain works, I could like listen to something or look at something and be like, that's dope. I want to do this, write it down
Yeah,
and make it fit into my, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's how my brain works. So that's why I
yeah.
love filmmaking.
So you're in school for it then,
Yes,
or yeah? Okay. What do you?
high school. It's not like a college thing. Yeah.
High school? How old are you?
I'm like 17.
What the fuck? Okay, cool. That's sick. I like
Yeah.
this. I like this more and more. Cool. So,
Yeah.
oh man, I have to think about that for a second. Wow. Okay. You're is that your website then, The Cultured Nerd,
Oh
or
no,
is
that
that something you're
I
part
write
of?
for some. Yeah, something I'm a part of. I write for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's crazy. So that's wild. Okay, so yeah, cool. I don't even know what to say. That's neat. I like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, again, I haven't socialized a whole lot.
No,
Um,
it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. It's fine. No, I get what you mean. I think how old did you think I was? Like 20 or
I
something
don't
or
know. I was like, I did not think 17. No, I think
yeah.
I'm probably closer to my age. I mean, I turned like, no offense to you, but I turned
Oh no, it's
24
fine.
in like 2 weeks. So I'm like, I'm not old, but I guess I'm closer to mid 20s. That's gross to say, but
It's
um,
fine.
but yeah, no, I thought you were definitely older. That's good
Yeah.
on you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
I
Yeah,
wish
I
I
just
wish I had that kind of like uh what do you call it? Like confidence. I
right.
don't know. I got like oh, nobody knows this, but I got an email from you. So I'm
Yeah.
like sitting there and I'm like, oh, I like a journalist or something. Like, interesting. And I looked at the website, which is actually pretty cool. And so it's just like in my mind, I'm like, oh, he must be like the owner of this or something.
Oh no.
I'm
No.
putting the pieces together. I'm so sorry. Okay.
No, it's fine.
I'm quick, I promise.
It's perfectly fine. Yeah. No, yeah, I just love doing this. I
Well,
love
who are your
talking to people.
influences then? Who, well, like
Oh,
what you say filmmaking, like what do you watch? What do you
what do I watch? It depends. I mean, like I get my inspiration from like a bunch of different things, like TV shows, like animes or
mm,
comics or stuff like that. But I say I watch like I watch horror sometimes. I watch
yeah.
superhero films. That's what actually really got me started into doing this. Was I saw Age of Ultron in 2015. And I was like,
Yeah.
this is really dope. I want to do this. And then I signed up for classes and I did this and then I did that. And it was just like downhill from there. Well, not downhill like in a bad
Yeah,
way,
yeah,
but
yeah. No,
like,
I
yeah,
hear you. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. But
The
it
ball
just
was
started me.
rolling. Yeah.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
started me on this whole path. So that's why I love film so much and why I got into it basically.
That's cool. So you haven't done any work of your own, but
No,
you've
not
done
yet.
like projects in class.
Yes, yes.
Okay, cool. So off the top of your head, who are your favorite three directors then?
Oof.
Or like
Oh,
it can be from any media. It can be
right.
anime, it can be cartoons in general, it could be film, it could be whatever.
I love James Gunn. I
Fun.
love,
Okay. All right.
yeah, I like the guy that made Attack on Titan. I suck at pronouncing names, period, so I would not even try.
Yeah, that's a hard
Uh,
one.
gosh, I like Quentin Tarantino. He's really dope.
Yeah,
I like him.
Quentin's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like him. He's dope.
So you're gonna be more into like action movies.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
most definitely.
Do
Something
you
like
have
that.
any history with like animation and whatnot? Or
Mm-mm.
is that just you just like the
Yeah, I just like that stuff.
yeah.
I don't have
Okay.
any history in it. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
cool. Okay.
yeah. Um,
Sweet.
I was also gonna ask you, what got you into film?
Oh, television.
Television? Nah. Yeah.
Yeah. I oh, Sam Raimi is my fave. Sam Raimi is pretty good. He's
Sam
doing
Raimi's
Doctor
amazing.
Strange. I am
Yeah.
like my hair. I thought it was way flatter than it is, but it's quarantine. Am I allowed to get away with that?
Probably, yeah.
Um,
I mean, look at me. Yes, most definitely. That's why I got the head on.
yeah, I know. I was gonna put the hat on, and somebody was like, "Don't wear it like that." I'm like, "Okay." It's kind of weird. Like I'm inside, so like the hat's not really. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess you are too, so maybe I can. I don't know. But maybe I'll just stop turning my head. I'll just sit like this. Is this cool? uh, no, I got into film because I would literally watch like 15 TV shows at once. Yeah, I would always like joke with my parents like, "Oh, I'm doing it for research," because I always wanted to be a writer. So I would at the time I didn't know it was fan fiction, but I would write essentially fan fiction like Zelda shit and stuff like that. And then I started writing a book that was just like a knockoff of Percy Jackson, which was huge back then.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that, and then when I did, I kind of got like disheartened. And also writing like a book, it takes an insane amount of discipline and effort.
Oh, oof.
Um,
Yeah.
it's stupid. Like I've been writing one for like 2 years now, and I've only got like 40 pages. And it's not
Oh,
that's not a brag.
wow.
That's not a brag or anything. That's just me going like I have so many issues with sitting down and writing something. So,
Same. Yeah.
but when it happens, and it's awesome. But
Yeah.
I would watch these shows, and I would, because I at the time I wanted to do I wanted to score television. So I was watching like Lost, The Fringe, The Leftovers, like um, Battlestar Galactica, these like insane shows with really great music. And I got turned on to like Michael Giacchino and Bear McCreary
Oh
and people like
yeah.
that. Max Richter, who's awesome. He didn't do a lot of film before he did concert music. Um, I think it's called Sleep. It's like this big ass fucking composition that makes you go to sleep. It's weird.
Oh
That one composer, he
wow.
did a lot. Yeah, it's a whole album on like music that makes you sleep. It's very strange. But I would watch these shows because I've been told that as a composer, you were supposed to be able to write anything at any time. So I would watch every show with its different style of music, and then I would just listen to how they did it, how they bumped in, how they bumped out, how what they would do for certain scenes, how they would maybe subvert expectation. And then it became a fact of like, oh, this is why I love writing. Like I love these characters, I love this fucking story. Like Lost is one of the greatest things ever. The Leftovers is absolute genius. And it's like, you know, it's hard to watch that stuff and not be inspired to do it.
Mhm.
And then I got to college and I was, watching all this shit and then I was doing student films and I was like, I hate making student films. It's really bad. Like I maybe now having done that PSA and whatnot, but working with students is really hard because they don't really know what they want and they don't know how to
Yes.
communicate. So it's like,
Yeah.
and it's fine. It's not like anything on part of the filmmaker. They're just young in college, and it was just like, oh my God, what are you doing? Like I once was on a shoot where I was acting in it and I was there for like 6 hours and I didn't even shoot the entire time because they were setting up
Oh wow.
one shot. And it was just literally like
Wow.
a little pan like that. And I was just like, I I can't I can't do this. So I started like funneling that energy into student filmmaking of my own, but outside of the school. I did one um, called the White Room for Campus Movie Festival, and we didn't win, but we got a lot of like crowd appraisal. Like it was a little too experimental for people to be like
Mm.
into it, but like anybody who was a artist was like, "Whoa, dude, that was insane." And like looking back at it, I there's a lot I shouldn't have done with that movie, but it was cool, and we got that kind of like boost as filmmakers to go do something else. And then we did, or I directed a script that was written by my roommate and best friend at the time who wanted to do this like sci-fi thing that's kind of like fringy, kind of lost-y.
Right.
That's how you say that. And that was the first time I started using special effects, and I kind of like fell in love with like the nitty gritty parts because essentially the special effects were just elaborate frame holds. So it was like sitting there and being like, no, you have to hold it for this fraction of a second and then reverse to this spot. And it was just a
Right.
pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I would literally write pages and pages of time codes of just like how I wanted it all cut up, and it would give
Right.
everybody headaches. So um, after that, I was just kind of sold. Like I was just kind of like, it took us a long time to do that, but it felt great. Like when you were done, you were like, holy shit, I did that.
Right.
And in my opinion, it was worth it. So that kind of is like, it's wrapped up in my student filmmaking, the way I got into it. I mean, I was always into it, but I didn't always want to make it.
Mm.
And then I'm a huge fan of Stephen King, so that was the last thing that needed to happen because
Yeah.
the film I'm making currently is an adaptation of a Stephen King poem from like 1980.
Oh, dope. I was about to, yeah. So
Yeah,
I guess we could just talk about that. So, what is like what genre is your film? Like what is it about and stuff like that?
it's a psychological horror. It's very heavily rooted in schizophrenia and mental health, mental illness, and the goal was to not be spectacular, to not have those spectacle elements where it's like, whoa, he's crazy. Oh, so cool. Because
Yeah.
that's the way a lot of movies portray it, where it's like, oh, this guy is, crazy. It's almost kind of sexy that he's crazy and like he sees shit and like, whoa, how trippy. And it's like, well, when you're actually sick, that's not what it feels like. And it's not
Right.
fun and it's scary. And like, the film deals with paranoid schizophrenia.
Mm.
Um,
True.
I went to great lengths to give it some kind of authenticity. So I had it like checked
Right.
by a mental health professional. And because originally it was going to be in 320 Festival. If you don't know what that is, it's actually online now. And I think it's is it already May? Yeah, it is, huh? This is the first. Oh my God. So sorry. Time just
No,
went.
you're fine.
um,
Happens to me
so
too.
it's May now. So I think at the end of the week they're doing the online festival. Originally, before COVID, it was going to be this big in-person festival event where a bunch of people were going, and I was going to put my film in the film portion of it.
Oh
Um,
wow,
but
dang.
then it didn't, and I was running that whole portion of the event. But because of all the filmmakers that we got for the event are like, um, they haven't released their material yet. So it's like we don't want to show the film online and not have it like before their release date. Because the idea is like you come in person, right? And you
Right.
watch it, not a big deal, but online it's a little harder. You have screen recording and things like that. So originally my short film was going to be in this festival, and now there's not really a film portion of it. But 320 Festival
Mm.
is that like uh, it's on Saturday online. So do that. Go to that. A lot of
Right.
really really hardworking people put it together, and you should go see what's up.
That's awesome.
Audie Gold or Odd Goldie, so hard to say. He is the lead for my film, and he's here and he's cool. So everybody go follow him. He's really neat.
Oh,
Just
awesome, dope. Welcome, welcome.
yeah,
Thank you for coming. That's really dope.
yeah.
Um, how long have you been working on this film?
Too long. Too long. Well, we were supposed to finish it this last week, but because of COVID, it's not really happening as fast as it was. We were burning through it, but my editor is a father and a business owner and all this stuff, so it's like, he has to deal with all that. The kids don't go to school, there's a lot of
Yeah.
like things to handle, everybody's businesses are suffering. And so it's like I get little bits and pieces. Like I'll be sitting there just reading one day. I'll be like cackling my way through Infinite Jest and just like I'll get like a version of my film I haven't seen before. And he's like, I colored it and here's some music. And I'm like, oh, this is so cool. But like it's not on a schedule.
Right.
April 28th was a year of physical production. So we've been in we finished photography in December. We have been doing posts since, but actual production from I believe the Indiegogo campaign to now has been a year, April 28th. And then I was
Oh
working on that
wow.
script and getting everything sorted for about a year before that. So it's been about 2 years now. Um, I wrote the first draft before I graduated, and then I touched it again when about 3 months after I graduated, and then because I graduated in 2018, so
Oh, okay.
it's been about two whole fucking years. It's just like it's really cool. The film, I love it. Alex Rhodes, my composer, is absolutely phenomenal. He keeps sending me like drafts of the score and like one giant track, so I just sit there and listen to it and like
Right.
get in the mood, the vibe. It's so cool, and it just gets better and better and better. I actually worked with Alex, and we met in our composition track at U of A, and so we've been making like little films together since like 2016,
Mm.
which is pretty cool. Maybe earlier than that. My years are weird. Um, but he is. It's been fun to watch him grow. It's like it's a really cool. Like pretty much everybody
Yeah.
on the project's been around for about 2 years.
Right. So a lot can
Most
change.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, like behind
Yeah.
the scenes, like the
Yeah.
core group of people has been the
Right.
same. So it's been really interesting to watch their skill grow as we continue to make this.
That's
Um,
awesome.
but yeah,
Uh,
so 2 years.
2 years. The name of the film is A Chan, correct?
Yeah. A
Oh,
chant.
okay.
I dropped it. Okay. A chant. It's the poem was called Paranoid colon A chant.
Okay. Ah,
Um,
okay.
but sorry, the comments are crawling up the screen. I'm trying to figure out how to
Yeah.
do
Yo,
it.
yeah.
But yeah, it's a really cool and it's it's a very bizarre thing. I hope we
Mm.
don't get in trouble because we could
It's
get in
very.
trouble.
I was
We
about
don't
to
have,
say, like, how'd you?
yeah.
Yeah, how'd y'all do that?
We're just
Oh,
hoping that we don't get in trouble. Sometimes things speak to you, and you just kind of go like, I'm gonna do that," and then we'll
right.
see what happens. It's been a really long uh, game of let's not get caught because it's been
Ah,
about two
two
years.
years. Yeah.
But Stephen King has this baby dollar deal.
Okay. Oh,
Um,
yeah, I've heard about that before. Yeah, you
yeah,
like.
you like give him $1, and he's like, you can adapt it. I asked him like maybe even closer to 3 years ago on Twitter,
Hmm.
if I could send him $1, and he never answered. Of
Oh.
course, like why did I think that that was the best way to approach it? But after that, I was just kind of like, I'll just make it. Like we'll just do it. And
We'll
then,
just do it.
if he gets the idea is like we do such a good job that when he finds out and he gets upset, he wants to watch it and be like, "Whoa, this is really good." Hopefully, I mean, maybe it's definitely an adaptation, so I've added a lot. It's not just
Right.
because the actual source material is a poem. It's like 100
Okay.
lines, and
Ah,
the script
okay.
is like 30 pages. So
Jeez.
it's not the same thing,
Right.
but it is, and I think I don't know. I hope he likes it. And that's kind of been the running joke is like, um, we'll just see how unhappy he is.
Right.
Like maybe he's not. Maybe he sees it and he's like, "Oh, that's fucking sick." But the thing
Right.
is like there is a version of this movie that's not mine from like
Okay.
18 years ago or something crazy, um, and it has like literally nothing to do with the source material. It's
Mm.
just like somebody reading a poem moodily in a room, the poem.
Right.
And I mean, I would suggest you go look at it
Mm.
because it's just interesting. Like it's an
Yeah.
interesting adaptation.
Right.
But I'm kind of like I picked something so obscure, I thought maybe I wouldn't get in trouble. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, but then Castle Rock happened as soon as I got into production. And I was like, well, shit. I don't know because I don't know if you watch Castle Rock, but Castle Rock is like a mashup of all the
Okay.
stories. So like the first season had a bunch of stories that were like kind of like Shawshank, kind of like The Green Mile, but kind of like something else. And then season two is like kind of Misery and kind of a bunch of other things.
Right.
So it's just kind of like you don't know what they own. They could own everything. They could own
Right.
rights to every story, right? But that would be kind of cool. Like I would not mind that I got yelled at by J.J. Abrams. That would be
But
kind of sick.
JJ
If
was
if I got like a note in the mail and it's like Bad Robot, cease and desist or whatever, I'd be like, I've lived life. That's good enough. Like I'm cool with it.
right.
Um, but yeah, I don't
Okay.
even
That's
know if I answered your question.
Oh no, nah, no, you
Sorry.
did. Nah, it's fine. I'm enjoying this. Sometimes you're cutting out though. For
Oh, am
me,
I?
yeah,
Is it frequent? It might be the spot that I'm in.
yeah. It's like sometimes it's like a lot.
Mm.
Well, not like too much, but like yeah.
It's always
So,
this corner.
mm.
I'm in the forest, so it's hard
Oh,
to get.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get
Didn't
what you
mention
mean.
that,
It's
but yes,
so,
I am. I am in the middle of nowhere right now,
Oh,
which is
okay.
great. I'm gonna join the hat party. This hat's disgusting. I've worn it for literally everything. I don't know if you could see that sweat stain. It's great.
Oh, I got a hat like that somewhere. Yeah. I was
Yeah,
playing a baseball game and I used it for tryouts and I like slid and it has just like
yeah,
covered in like mud and gross stuff.
perfect. That's what that stuff's for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
um, is this your first film that you've made? A Chant?
It's the biggest. I jokingly call it my directorial debut because it's the first real production.
Mm-hmm.
Like it not in terms that like the other things weren't thought through, but like, I marketed it and I raised funds and I wrote it. I wrote like 8 drafts of the movie before we even thought about shooting it. Like spent a long time casting it. So it's like the first time that I've really done the whole process and been like totally involved, totally engulfed.
Right.
Um, so yeah, in a lot of ways, it is my first movie because there are so many things I've never done, right?
Right.
Or certain
Okay.
parts of the process I neglected before because that just wasn't the need at the time. Like
Right.
sound, I just did a podcast with Project Freelance.
Oh yeah, I noticed
Um,
you posted about that.
yeah, it's in there. I'm just like I neglected a lot of things in filmmaking before that I just was like I don't give a fuck. Like I'm making stuff,
Right.
but now that I'm doing this movie, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I know what I did wrong because
Right.
it's not there. Like you can't use it. You can't, it's like it's corrupted data or whatever. And like
Right.
sound is a big thing. Like before, I would just be like, oh well, sound is um, not a big deal.
Right.
And now I'm like, oh my God, I have 3 or 4 conversations and I can't hear any of them. And I'm just like, no, we can't
Right.
redo everything. We don't,
Right.
it's not like we can ADR everything. We don't have studios or anything. It's like,
Right.
everybody is just using what they got. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, in a lot of ways, this is the first film. It's definitely the most directed film.
Okay.
So like everything's very composed and like
Right.
specific.
Okay.
Um, whereas like I've done White Room, Infinite Loop, I've done Borderline, I've done a shit ton of stuff with this comedy channel that I am like I don't want to say I don't want Mark to think that I'm taking like possessive control over it, but like it's like me and Mark,
Right.
my buddy Mark, and we
Okay.
do comedy and we do like spoofy stuff, slapstick, like parody. I've done a bunch of that and I scored a bunch of that. So for a long time, that's where my energy was,
Mm-hmm.
and it still is. But he's in college right now, so he's kind of just
Okay.
overwhelmed, and we're waiting to do more stuff. But Borderline was a result of that, and they were all equally like I gave equal effort to all of them,
Right.
but at the time I had limited access to certain things. Like
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't always, um, yeah. See the Halloween parody. Yeah, I
I'll
played
check that
I
out.
played Michael Myers.
Oh, okay.
We did like a behind the mask. Um,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Michael Myers is this guy who's like just some dude with a deformity who like is being exploited by the industry, and like it's an interviewer who's like, what do you think about your career? And he's like, I haven't seen a residual, like that kind of stupid. Like he plays
Yeah.
lounge jazz at night, so it's just like that kind of humor where it's very like we have a whole skit called Pulpy McPulpy Pants about this guy who's addicted to orange pulp and orange juice. And he ends up like beating somebody to a pulp and then eating them and going to
Oh.
prison.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like it's real fucking ridiculous. It's real ridiculous. But we love it. It's like it's a bliss for us. So I did
Right.
a lot of
Yeah.
work there.
Sounds fun.
Um, I started a bunch of things that never finished them because
Yeah.
college happened and yeah, that stuff
Yeah.
happens. But like,
Right.
I never had a sound crew. I barely have had a DP, and that's been hard because my buddy River, who is the DP for this film, River Dempson, he would lives in Scottsdale and I would live in Tucson. So it's like
Right.
anytime I wanted to get something together, like Infinite Loop happened because we we shot the thing over like 5 months. No, is it months? It was like every other weekend or every 2 weekends, he would drive down to Tucson and we would shoot something else. It was
Right.
like and he wouldn't edit it really without me being there because that's the one with all the frame holds, the special effects. So it was like, it was just like a pain in the ass, and he just needed me to sit there with him and be like, this is what I need. And like I said, that was kind of the first film that I really felt invested in. So,
Nice.
and you can watch all of those. They're there.
Bad.
I have a YouTube channel that has like 3 videos, and one of them's a school project. So
No, okay.
I haven't had a chance to rebrand, but I am. There's a lot going on over here. Just it's not all
Awesome.
visible right now.
Great. Oh, when will
Yeah,
H release? Do you know?
it's a good question. Um, the goal was to have it done this last month. We're really close. Like we're doing like final coloring and final music. Um, really close. But there's really no telling at this point. I
All
think it's
right.
probably going to be like closer to July, maybe.
Ah, okay.
I'm just going to throw it way the hell out there because
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, it will be here in 2 weeks. And then like COVID just
Right.
fucking
Yeah.
explodes or somebody gets, busy or whatever.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, my goal would be to have it done by July,
Okay.
but no promises.
Right.
Obviously, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna. I mean, maybe not obviously, but I would never put something out that's not ready.
Not ready. Yep.
I mean, it's already been 2 years. Why not wait?
Yeah. A
Why
couple more
not?
months or weeks
Yeah,
or yeah,
yeah. It
make it
doesn't
better.
matter.
Yeah.
Also, it doesn't demean anything that I've done. Like I think for sure it was frustrating in the beginning because it's like, well, but I have it and I want to show it. And like, it's good for all sorts of reasons. You put it on your resume or, it's something for somebody to see and go, oh yeah, you can do these things, but you can't give an unfinished thing to them. But,
Absolutely.
I think the beautiful thing about making art, I guess, is that there's a self-satisfaction. Like there's a certain part of it where you're like, I don't really care if anybody else sees it. I know
Right.
that I did a great job. I did what I wanted to do. And then like the entertainer in me is like, yeah, but I want people to see it. I need to give it to people.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Also, there were so many people that supported the campaign where it's like 100 people.
Yeah. Right.
It
Jeez.
feels weird to be like, I can't give you that thing that I promised over a year ago, you know?
Right. Mm,
So
yeah.
there are a lot of like curves I'm learning as I go. There are things I didn't
Yeah.
think I
Yeah.
needed to know, things I didn't
Yeah.
think I'd have to learn. Like it never occurred to me that that would be a lesson. Like, how do you deal with development hell, if you will? Because in a
Yeah.
way, it is kind of like that. Like, there's nobody saying like you can't make it or you can't do this, you can't do that. It's really
Yeah.
just like externalities. Like, there's a pandemic going on. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
there are families to tend to. You have to keep living and do things, and it's like it's very bizarre. So it's like
Yeah.
I guess growing up or whatever. But
Yeah.
Slaves to
No.
Humanity is here too. I see them. They're really cool. So
Awesome.
just so
Welcome.
you
Yeah.
know, I'm gonna point out random things because
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Austin's sick. Og Goldie, he's really cool, and Slaves to Humanity's this like really cool rock band that you should check out.
Awesome. Welcome. Maybe I can interview him one day. Who knows?
Yeah, I know.
So.
Yeah, they're really cool too. They're young. They're younger than you, and they're
Oh
like
wow.
they're so fucking sick. Like the kind of band you go up and you watch and you're like, holy shit, like they must have been doing this for like a decade now.
Dickhead.
And
Yeah.
they're all like, hi, we're like 15. They're not all that old. They're not all that
Right.
old. Aiden's like the youngest, but they're all like, I think the oldest one's 18.
Right.
So, but
Wow.
they're so,
Jeez.
and they play everything live and like they're
Hmm.
tracking and everything. It's like serious shredding, serious like, I can't even praise them enough. But sorry, I cut you off. What were you saying?
Oh no, no, keep going.
Well,
No, no, no. Yeah, no, it's fine. This is what it's all for, just learning new things about you, learning about what you like, stuff like that. So yeah, no, keep it's fine. But Real quick, I just wanted to, the reason this means so much to me is because you remind me a lot of Chester. Like you look like him, you
Yeah,
remind me about him and stuff like
yeah,
that. I mean, you're his son, but
yeah,
I just want to, I don't know. I wanted to ask you questions about that, if that's okay with you. If you,
yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Go
okay,
ahead.
okay.
Yeah.
So, what was the grieving process like for you when you heard about it? So, how was it like for you?
The best question you could have asked right off the bat. Literally the thing that I wish I could talk about more on a like a platform, which I guess I can, but
Hmm.
I don't really want to promote it because then it seems kind of like self-serving,
Absolutely, yeah. I get
um,
what you mean. Most
which is
definitely.
weird. But that's an incredible question because it is such a challenge.
Hmm.
Um, because it's very weird. I have my own feelings. We
Yes.
had our own relationship, right? That didn't
Right.
happen on the world stage, but the thing is that the key word is world stage. Uh,
Hmm.
everybody knew, everybody knows,
Right.
everybody feels involved.
Yeah. I
I
get what you
think
mean.
that's an issue is like everybody feels involved. Um,
Mm.
it's it's not that you can't grieve also, but I think a lot of people don't really understand there's a difference,
Right.
right? Like a lot of
Absolutely.
people almost assume like he is family, which in a lot of ways he is
He.
because,
Right. Yeah.
like you said, it means a lot to you because the content he touched on the lifestyle he lived, the message he tried to get across, messages. And so it's like, you guys are um entitled to that. I mean, obviously he had a career. That's not, it's not like it's expected, I think. And that's why it's so difficult is
Right.
like I'm entitled to my privacy. Sorry, that was my chair. I moved it.
No. No. It's fine.
The You guys are entitled to your reaction and your
Hmm.
grieving process. Like if Alex Turner died today, hell yeah, I'd be fucking broken. I'd be broken forever. Like I always joke he's my spirit animal, but like
Right.
yeah, he's probably the equivalent of what my dad was for most of his fans,
Hmm.
for me. So like I get it, like I understand that, but the thing is like when he passed, somehow everybody had her address.
Are you
So like
serious?
yeah, yeah. So like we put up a construction fence around the house
Oh my
because people were
God.
coming up and leaving stuff on the street and like standing there all day trying to come up to the door to talk to people. Yeah, it was like
Right.
it's a lot. And like at first it was kind of like, okay, cool, like we get it. Like for me at least, I'm very understanding of these things. Like I get
Yeah.
it, but there's a boundary. Like
Yes. Absolutely.
there's my home and then there's the rest of the planet.
Right.
Like you
Yeah.
can go
Yeah.
anywhere, and that's what happened. Ultimately, people did a bunch of like group singing and things like that, and like all over the world. They had these sites, these memorial sites. I don't know if you've seen them, but
Oh yes,
they're
I
really
have. Oh
incredible.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that is impressive, right?
Right.
So that was really cool. It only really happened after we got like foot traffic, and essentially we had people in front of our house for like 2 or 3 weeks,
Jeez.
like crowds of people. And that was really hard because we were all essentially locked in a house.
You
And
do. Yeah.
we'd go to the store and there would be TMZ following us, which by the way, TMZ is the biggest pile of shit ever. It's
I was
it's
about to
just
say. Yeah.
exploitative
I was
journalism.
gonna.
They're horrible because when he died, and that's another thing, that's part of the grieving process, right? So when they died, they put the autopsy report out for everybody to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
They were the first people at the office, the coroner's office. They were the first
Holy
people there,
crap.
and they were like bargaining for it. So it was like it was rough. They put like the means, like how he did it. They put
What?
pictures and shit. Yeah, mean shit. And then they've dragged my mom for getting married. They've done all this stuff. Like they're
Uh.
just horrible, horrible. And so we have to deal with these kinds of like tabloids, I guess, and we have
Yeah.
to deal with like avid fans who are like maybe taking things a bit too far. Like, I don't know how long you've known of my social media presence or anything, or if you
Yeah.
do, but
Yeah.
uh, probably like 8 months ago, somewhere between, I would imagine 8 and 10 months ago,
Yeah.
I put out a big letter
Yeah, I saw that.
to
I was gonna ask you
fans.
about that
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Because of that behavior where it's like people, it's really cruel, but like I've been told to kill myself because it was
Yeah,
my fault
I
that he
was
did
like,
that. I've been told like that I'll be, beat up in the street and stuff. So it's like, it's weird. Like I didn't do anything, but this happens. This happens all the time. It happens to my mom. It happens to me. It happens to our family members. And, it's just, there's a very like necessary part of grieving you can't do when all that shit's going on. So it's
yes.
honestly been prolonged. Like I almost did admire the situation my younger siblings are in because they are aware of like social media and whatnot, but they're so young they don't really have it.
Yeah.
So it's like they're completely untouched, and there are definitely some interactions I wish I'd never had. But
Yeah.
it's been an interesting thing, it's been um, an invaluable experience in a lot of ways because I got to see a part of the world, both bad and good, that nobody will ever see
Yeah.
in real time, right? Because again, you guys are entitled to something, I'm entitled to something, but it's so many people, it's hard for people to just kind of go like, I'm gonna let you have that. Like I've had people just in the last week hit me up and be like, "Oh, I miss you so much, Chester." And I'm like, "That's it.
What?
That's all they say." And I'm like, "Okay, I don't know what the fuck to tell you." Like
I
that's
was
weird. I don't,
yeah.
like
Yeah. Uh
cool,
yeah.
Um,
Oof.
but it's been really interesting. I've gotten some interesting things out of it. Gray days, for example. That's not something I ever thought I'd be doing,
Yeah.
but I am. So, it's like
Yeah.
a weird full circle. And that tends to happen. A lot of people don't know, but like I went to high school where my dad played his first shows. They converted that club into
Awesome.
a high school.
Oh
So my first
wow.
performances were on those stages as well. There was like um, a lot of really funny like because the studio we recorded in for Gray Days was the studio they did like the first 4 or 5 Linkin Park albums.
Awesome.
And like
That's dope.
it was really cool. I had this really sweet moment where like Sean Dowdell's son Brennan, he has been my childhood friend forever. He's world class drummer, like not even joking, like world class, like drum line competition, global shit. He we've always like joked about being in a band, and I got to like sit down with him and be like, "Hey, here's some stuff I've been writing." Like on the piano, they did like "In the End,"
Oh
and be
yeah.
like, "How's this? Like, what do you think? You want to do that?" And like get those seeds of like musical like relationship going. Like we've
Right.
always had it, but it's been like a weird thing because we've grown up and done different things.
Right.
So we like we're not even in the same city. I just hit him up yesterday and I was like, I'm working on some music. Do you want to drum for it? Like it's not like a band commitment, but like I'll send you stuff and you can send me, backing tracks for demos and whatnot. And it's just been cool. Like I wouldn't have been able to do that. The reason I'm bringing that up is because of the studio thing, but also um, Brennan was on B12 for the Gray Days
Love that
on the
song.
night.
Love
Yeah,
that
and
song.
and that drumming is all him. So it's like,
Really? I thought that
and
was
there's
Sean. I
yeah.
thought
So he
it.
tracked all the. I think Sean has parts in it, but they tracked all the. They did a couple runs to the song with Brennan on it, and Carson was on it too. Brennan's
Okay.
brother. So and he's a drummer as well. So it
Right.
was kind of like a cool like 360. Like we're all kind of like coming together on this thing, and that was all Sean's idea. So that was really cool. And now as of yesterday, I'm also doing a music video for Gray Days,
What is it?
directing for Soul Song. So for the one that I was on, we're shooting. We're prepping right now. It's a very small timeline, but we're shooting it this week and then editing it. And I don't know what they're doing with it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's gonna be cool. Like
Okay.
who would have thought? I got
Right.
Sean hit me up and was like, "Hey, do you want to? Can I talk to you? You want to do this?" And I was like, "Yeah, why not?"
Did you
You
only
know,
do soul song? I was gonna. How many songs did you do? Did you only do one or?
I was supposed to do more, but the
Oh.
the timeline was a bit funky.
Hmm.
And so it didn't really pan out that way. I think I was writing harmonies and learning like 3 songs when I went in.
Okay.
I actually have drafts of my harmonies in the chorus. I wrote out these harmonies for the chorus for Soul Song, and I
Hmm.
wrote them out and played them on piano for SJ and Luke and all them. I forget if it's Luke or Lucas, but
Lucas. Yeah, I was
Lucas. There you go.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Cause
Sorry.
I messed it up too. So don't
Yeah, yeah.
even
Well, I've only met him once or twice. I think I've only met him at the studio.
Oh wow,
So,
okay.
he's really great. They're all great. They're fantastic. I forget because it sounds so close to Luke, and I can't remember if somebody called him that or not. But
Right.
his last name's really cool. Um, D'Angelo. How do you pronounce that? There's a D comma
Listen,
A
I
N G
don't.
O.
When it comes to
Yeah,
pronouncing any names, don't
it's like
ask because
D'Addario, D'Addario.
or
That
did.
like the string company. They do like
Oh,
guitar
okay,
strings. I don't know
okay,
how to say that either. Somebody corrected me once, and I was like, I don't. It
yeah,
sounds like Daddario.
right,
Daddario is more fun to say, so I'm gonna say
right,
Daddario. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
But yeah, I got sidetracked because I started messing around. Um, but yes, all of them are really great. The only song I ended up doing was Soul Song, but
So
I was
song.
there. I was there in the studio for all of that.
Mm,
Um, that one. So basically, it was like if I remember correctly, it was like they would come in and for like a series of days they would
right,
track and then they would leave
yeah,
because not everybody
okay,
lives in the same area.
right,
Um,
yeah. I know some
because they
people
had a
like
bunch of
coming from
people.
yeah, coming
Yeah, they
from
had like the
France
guys from
and
Corn in, they had like the guys from
yeah,
Bush, people like that. So it's like, they live in California or they live in, I think one of the guys from Corn lives in like Georgia or some shit. So it's like they had to like fly in and do that. I don't remember where it was. It was in the South. So it was like I was like, wow, you live there? Like that's crazy.
yeah,
But yeah, they were all super cool. Like literally everybody who performed on the album was just like just like the ultimate goodwill. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Like you get
yeah,
people in there and you're like, wow, these people really do care. This is not just like because I think with also fan interaction, there's always a little bit of like reservation of like who's out to get something, and
yes, yeah, I
it felt like
understand,
everybody is like not trying to get anything. At least the people I
right,
met, and I
right,
met quite a few. So they were all just sweethearts. They all just wanted to make it the best it could be, and knowing
right,
that there was a limitation there. Um, and really, the process of making that album was really kind of fucking crazy.
yeah.
Because I believe everything, all the vocals are actually just masters from back in the 90s.
Yeah,
So he didn't record anything new, or he was starting
yeah,
to, but he didn't record
yeah,
enough.
yeah.
So it's really phenomenal. Like I was listening to Soul Song for the video. We were working treatment, and I'm like sitting there like, oh, this was him when he was like 19. Like I forget because he sounds the
Yeah,
same.
he
It's like
does, yo.
he
That's so
sounds the
true.
same. It's
Yeah,
just it's fucking
it's
crazy. It's really
yes.
crazy.
Like it feels like
Um,
there wasn't a change at all. I remember when I first listened to my first song I listened to by Grey Days was B12, and it was like
okay,
I listened to it. I want to say
which is
like
a fucking crazy song to sing,
yeah.
by the way.
Oh man, I can't
That's
wait.
hard.
Yeah.
It's like listening to it is exhausting. Like I
Oh
can't imagine he. I know he did some crazy performance stuff. I traveled with him a lot, and I saw a lot. I saw hundreds of LP shows, but that song, I think there's a reason he never really wrote anything like that again. Like it's real fucking
yeah,
hard. It's really
yeah.
hard. It's that one of the sickest things I've ever seen was Brennan hitting the drum roll on B12. It goes the dynamic. It's the dynamic range of the drum. So like there's that build up in the song where he's like I don't even know the lyrics, but he's like rapid firing lyrics and it's building and it's
He's like
getting there and then
hooray,
it's like
hurrah,
crashes.
hooray.
Yeah, yeah, that.
Yeah,
Yeah. So there's this little like drum roll, right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
And it
Know what you
goes
mean?
it's like fucking crazy. This guy fucking came in and was like, I'm kind of rusty, like, oh no, and just was like playing and just goes from like the quietest little tiny fucking drum roll to like the biggest, loudest thing.
Yeah.
And it's so smooth. He doesn't miss a fucking beat at all. It's just straight, like I think it's just 16th notes. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like 1 into 2 into 3 into 4. And it's just like maybe it's even triplets. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they were like
Right.
16 note triplets, but Brennan just fucking kills it. And there's some stuff, like some beats he couldn't replicate, but they were just so sick that I don't think made it into the song. I think I've heard the final mix, but it's just like everybody in the room was like, "What the fuck did you just do? You got to do it again, again." And he's just like, there were like 5 takes where he's like, I don't know what I did, guys. I don't. But it was so cool, seeing that level of raw talent from literally everybody in the studio is just
Yeah.
like even the producers, like
Wow.
SJ, an incredible musical talent, an incredible person. She was very you guys should follow her. SJ Jones is her name. She's one of the producers. I'm
Most
sure you've
definitely.
spoken with her or talked to her,
Oh no,
know
but
of
you
her.
can best believe I'll try.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's incredible. One of the sweetest people I've ever met, and also one of the most musically intelligent. Like, I was never in a studio before. I've never sang in a studio environment before. And
Oh,
she was the
okay.
first person I interacted with. So literally, we went out to Jay. I forget his last name, but he runs NRG
Ah,
Studios.
okay.
So Jay, we went out to his Tesla and we were sitting in it, just like going through the song. I when I found out about the song, I'd literally been um, aware of the whole project. Like when I finally got to the studio, I'd been aware for about a week.
Okay.
I didn't know. I didn't know
Wow.
anything. I learned everything in a week, all those songs,
Wow.
and
I could
I
never
went
do
in.
that. Side note, I could never learn something
Yeah,
in a week and do it like,
it was
yeah,
hard.
so
It was hard. It was also hard to. I hadn't listened to any of his music up to that point. Again, not really. So it was hard to go back through the songs and be like, "Oh yeah, Dad, hey, how's it going?" Um, and
oh
we sat
wow.
in the car, and I informed SJ about our relationship and like my life a little bit, who I was, and we've been really good friends since, like friends, not just musical buddies or anything. Like I've
Right.
been to her. I went and stayed with her in Joshua Tree, and like we did a lot of music, and I sent her my demos and stuff, and
Right.
like we're genuinely friends. It's crazy. You don't usually get that, but I did. Um, but it's like the way she thinks about shit. You're just like, okay.
Yeah.
Like you're sitting there with her and she's like, okay, I haven't really listened to it, but like, uh, blah, 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 blah. Here are 15 different ways that we can sing the chorus.
Right.
Like, yeah, yeah, okay, cool, cool, cool. Oh, wait, hold on, you're stuck.
Uh
Yeah,
yeah, I was about to
you there?
say, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah, you got stuck.
Okay, so I was about to say, yeah. So I was gonna say, it's saying I have like 40 seconds and the live is gonna cut off, so I'm gonna make another one so you can join and we can continue going.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
good.
no problem.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so guys, I'm gonna turn this live off. It's gonna be on my story. It's gonna be split into two parts. This is the longest live I've ever done, so we're gonna
I'll
continue
talk
on.
to you
I'm
for
gonna invite.
literally ever. Cut me off because it will be like 10 hours.
Yeah. So I'm gonna make a part two. Y'all come back and I'll invite you again.
I
Hello.
had to pee so bad, and then it wouldn't let me go back to your thing. But
Right.
yes, SJ will throw like 15 ideas at you, and like
Right.
I know she doesn't expect me to like get everything, but she's like, and you're like, yeah, those all sound great,
Right.
and then
That's
you have to
dope.
like work through it, and it was literally like I showed up, we were in the car, and I was literally just singing to her. And
Mm-hmm.
then we went in and we did it in the mic, which is really fucking weird, by the way, when you have the latency of
Right. Okay.
your ears covered and you're speaking into a mic. There's like a weird disconnect between your voice and your ears. It
Oh
took
no,
me a
yeah,
hot
no.
second. A hot
Yeah, I was
second.
about to say, yeah, because with my stepfather, I recorded with him, and if I had the headphones, yes, I do. So these are the ones we used. And when we first used it, I was talking, but I could hear myself, and it also sounded a little late.
Yeah,
So I was just like, "Is
yeah,
something wrong with these headphones?" And he was like, "No, it's supposed to be like that." I was like, "Okay." And when we recorded the song, I was there, I was feeling it, but at the same time, it was like I was talking to myself. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
really trippy. So
It's trippy. It's
yeah,
like
I get what you mean.
you're in like
Yeah,
an echo chamber, and it's like,
yeah,
and in the booth, it's like at NRG, it's a door and then another door, and in between that is a soundproof little box. And on one side is the hallway to the control room, and the other side is the hallway, or just the opening to the big room where you would play as like a full band or track drums or whatever, or live guitar. If you're not doing direct, if you're not just directly recording into the whatever system you're using.
right.
Um, and so there's a big ass piece of glass, and I'm sitting there like this, and I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'm just singing. And then it's like, oh, I can't like it's weird, like because of the latency, I'm also off pitch. So it's like
Right.
this weird like I don't sound that bad, I promise. And everybody's like, yeah, okay, we're gonna take another one. Okay,
We're gonna
ready?
take another
you
one.
know? Uh,
Yeah.
and then SJ will stop and she'll push the button and be like, actually, it's Freedom Rain, not Freedom Reigns. So if you could just say that right? That would be okay. We're gonna go. I was just like, all right, you know.
Yeah.
It's also a very interesting environment because it feels like criticism. That's what it feels like,
Right.
but it's not criticism. It's like it's just pointers, right? Because that's the point of their job is like I'm gonna tell you how to do better, and I'm
Right.
gonna guide you towards the ultimate goal. And it's it's hard not to take it personally.
Right.
When you're
Yeah, I get
sitting
what you
there and
mean.
they're like, sorry, your enunciation is not it's not happening. Or like, oh sorry, you're not hitting the right pitch. You're like, this is take five. Yeah, I'm trying. I'm
This
really
take five,
trying,
right?
guys. Yeah, I'm trying real hard.
Yeah.
I see some
Sorry,
interesting
I'm
questions
fiddling
down
with
here.
something. Yeah, I was about to
No, it's
say that
okay.
they're asking some because
They
my
asked
phone
us some
is
good
about to die and
questions.
I do not want it. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, plug that in. Plug
Uh.
that in. All right.
All right.
Let's see. I like. Let's take a look at this. Lincoln Park pun. LOL. Talking to myself. No, that was not a Lincoln Park pun. That was an accident. But I think that's funny that you point. I do make puns. I like to when we get in this any situation that seems kind of like it's not gonna like you're not gonna win. I like to
Right.
be like, well, in the end, it doesn't even matter. Or like if something doesn't go the way that I want, I'll be like,
Uh.
no matter how hard I try, it doesn't matter. In the end, it just doesn't mean anything to you. Or like I didn't do anything good. And that's about as I make a lot of those jokes. I also well not a lot. When it comes in naturally, I'm like, I
Yeah.
got you, and people are like, no. I also make I have a really black sense of humor, so I make a lot of dead dad jokes. I love making
uh.
people uncomfortable because they're like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I'm like, yeah, well, maybe you should think twice before you mess with me. No, it's like um, I don't know. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I would tell you one of the jokes, but I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. So uh,
Someone said, real quick before I go back to my
yeah.
question, they said, "Is it true you asked to be paid to be on the album, but you were told no?"
Oh no. I asked to be paid, but that's just a standard artist thing. Like you never go in and just do free work
Right.
ever. I love Sean. I love everybody. It was not at all about getting anything financially out of it. But if you're
Right.
spending, 10 hours at a studio, who's paying for food? I
Right.
am. They did, but they were very, very kind. But I did talk to Sean about that, and he was like, yeah, of course, like that's totally reasonable. Like you're an artist giving a service, like that's you know
Right. Okay.
we're the thing is that we're all very like as an artist, you get paid shit unless you make somebody pay you. And in this case, I didn't have to make anybody do anything. I'll just ask. But I think Sean and everybody involved with the project, Sean's very, it's his baby at this point. It's like, um,
Yeah.
you know, he understands that, and I think he was very much like, yeah, that's a good for you. Like, yeah, you stood up for yourself. Again, these words. It's not like I felt I couldn't do something. It's just the language is weird. But yes, I did
Right.
get
Yeah.
paid for that. But
Okay.
yeah, it's just a hazard of being a musician. Um,
Right.
I like this question of, do I feel pressure to sing songs extra good?
Yeah.
Um, do I do I feel pressure? No, I don't. The thing I do feel pressure I felt pressure about in Grey Days, the process of recording for Grey Days, was that there was I struggled for a long time with the fact that I do look very much so like my dad, and that I also sound like him when I talk, and I sound like him when I sing. So I did struggle with that for a little bit, um,
Right.
especially when I started writing songs, because my dad and I had an interesting relationship. It was very like hot cold, um, and
Okay.
I don't know. A lot of people don't know, but I didn't actually meet him until I was about 8. So yeah, a lot of people don't
Wow.
know that. So we have a very interesting, very complex relationship. And so
Mhm.
that's one of the reasons it's so hard to listen to the music, which is why I don't really. But,
Mhm.
going into Grey Days, it was very odd because it was like, I make a very big deal about not doing things related to my dad unless they mean
Yeah.
something really specific. Like, I get asked every goddamn day if I'm going to be the next Linkin Park singer. No, like that's not happening. Like, no, I'm
Okay.
not. I'm not going on tour with Grey Days. That makes no sense. Why would I do that? But like, it's just it's very weird. Like, I have there's a lot of expectation from people on
Yeah.
that front, and the fans can be like rabid
Yeah.
sometimes. They can
Oh,
be animals.
I've seen
So
it. Trust me, I've
yeah,
seen it.
it's rough, and that's I think I didn't feel pressure to sing. I was very confident in myself. I still am. I know what
Awesome.
I know what I can do, and I know what I want to do, and I know that you just gotta embrace that, right?
Yeah.
But there was a little bit of fear on my part of fucking it up, not because I would do a bad job, but because it wouldn't be good enough for the people who were judging me.
Yeah. Yeah.
For
Yeah.
something that they're like, why are you judging me for it? Like, um, but it seems like everybody's real stoked about it. They've heard it. I've heard it. It sounds weird. We do sound kind of exactly the same on the song. I don't know if you've heard Soul Song, but
I've heard some parts of it, like his in the docu series at to the
yeah,
near end, they played a bit of
yeah,
it. I couldn't tell if you were on it or if that was Chet. I really couldn't tell what parts you did or something. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
um,
It was very um. So sorry, I read the comments and I just like my mind just slipped. What are we talking
oh,
about?
listen, trust me,
What
because
the
I'm
hell's going on?
looking, yeah, I'm talking to you and asking questions, and then I have like 500 comments just going zoom, zoom,
I
zoom,
know,
and I'm
I
trying
know.
to,
I'm trying.
I'm trying to, it's fine. But nah, I was, what were we talking?
I know. What was
Nah,
I don't know what we were talking about. I'm really
no,
sorry.
you like, do you feel pressure, singing the songs or,
Yeah,
yeah,
just because of the fan base. That's literally
right,
it. I have very little. I played a show where I played all of my own music, and not only did I forget songs, but I just forgot them halfway through. Like, I forgot songs entirely, and I forgot
yeah,
them halfway through. And then I also fucked up every other song I was playing, including the cover that I was doing. It was literally a
wow.
disaster. But I played it off as like, yeah, guys, like shit happens. And everybody was like, wow, you know how to do art. Like, you're just an artist. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a compliment or not. That sounds like to me like not a compliment. But like,
Right.
when I was on stage doing that and fucking up really badly, I was very okay with it. Like, I'm cool with failure. That's fine.
Oh,
At least I
okay, yeah,
tried, right? Like,
yeah,
so going into the studio, there's no Like that show is way scarier than being in a studio, but
Ah,
it's still like,
yeah,
I went out and I did what I thought I could do, and I did it to the best of my ability, and it doesn't
right,
matter if anybody else is happy with it. I'm happy
yeah,
with it, right? So it's
awesome,
hard to
yeah.
think that way sometimes, but that's the
Oh
case.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, no, I don't think I feel pressure. If anything, I feel pressure to not sound like him,
ah,
to like
okay,
avoid it, which is weird. I actually sing, he sings a lot up in his nose, like
mm,
that. So when I sing, I try to open up my voice a lot so that I have a
okay,
different range. I'm
so,
also like,
right,
I also write a bunch of music. Like right now, I'm like writing an EP. So I'm writing this whole thing, and like it's kind of scary just because I don't want people to hear it and be like, "Oh wow, he should really join one of the bands."
yeah,
Because
like yeah.
yeah, I don't want that comparison. Just not because I don't appreciate it, but because it's very
You want to do
much
your own
like,
thing,
yeah,
yeah,
it's not conducive to a creative atmosphere. It's like,
uh,
how can you move forward or do anything different if you're constantly being held to a standard of someone whose whole point was doing his own thing?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
so it's very interesting to me to see these people. Um,
right.
well, I mean, I could tell you one of the jokes. Some of these people want to hear it.
Go ahead. I mean, if you
Are
want,
you cool with it? Are you gonna?
I
I just don't want to hurt anybody. Some people get really hurt by these jokes. But basically, when he died, people would ask me if I wanted to hang out, and I'd tell them that was really insensitive, and I needed some time to myself. That kind of stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's really funny. Eventually, I did
oh
stop. I stopped because they got hurt. I started seeing like the light drain out of people's eyes, and
oh
I was
okay.
like, okay, okay, I'll stop. Like the jokes were a little worse than that. They got progressively worse, but you know,
No, oh, trust me, I have plenty of friends who have that same type of humor, so I'm
yeah.
very used to it. But nah, no, I get what you mean. Nah, nah, nah. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
glad that you're.
it's a little whack. The thing is, it's like nobody's gonna let you forget it. Like nobody.
Yes,
I
yeah.
get reminded every week that my dad is dead because of somebody who
Mm,
wants to say something or whatever. And that's kind of kind of go back to that topic, is like that's kind of the difficulty. Is like I don't think I've ever had a chance to mourn my dad ever. I don't
mm,
think, like in
jeez,
private. I
yeah.
don't think. And that's why I kind of like I feel kind of like jealous of the little kids, because it's like they totally did and they totally are. But as somebody who has a social media presence, as somebody who was currently making a movie, and somebody who is currently trying to break out as like a director and as like
Yeah.
a writer and all these things, like I'm constantly in some form of a spotlight. Um, And it's actually
Okay.
interesting because I'm a very forward person. Like I don't really have secrets. Like you could ask me probably anything right now and I give you a straight answer. That's just the kind of person that I am. But it's literally
Yeah.
because of the life that I've grown up in, is like that constant expectation, is that people are watching all the time, and
Right.
and they also, partly on my to my um, fault, I guess, I do engage with people. Like I'll probably answer any DM that I get. I just do. I
Right.
like
Okay.
talking to people.
Okay.
Some people are really cool. Some
Right.
people are fans, but they're like just cool people. Like
Right.
I have people from different countries who DM me, and they're like, "Hey, like I'm an artist too. This is really cool that you do this and that, and like I am a fan of your dad, but like whatever." And like they'll teach me new words. Like I learned a new word for boredom the other day, and I was like, "That's sick." Like I don't know what language that is, but that's really cool. Or like cool
Yeah.
concepts, or like there's some great artists out there, and it's like, not everybody's bad, and most of them aren't. It's the few very like loud, aggressive ones that are giving everybody a bad name, because unfortunately, for some reason, the negative things are the easiest things to remember.
Oh,
Um,
most definitely. Yeah.
I don't know why.
It's a
I don't know
shame.
why we're set up that way, but it's the way that it happens. And so, like, when
Absolutely.
somebody tells me, like, "Hey, go kill yourself," I'm like, I remember you, you asshole. I
Yeah.
don't remember the
Yeah.
nice people. But
Right.
luckily, I do get people who come through and are like really just genuinely nice people.
Yeah,
I did a
yeah.
poll too for 320 Festival when I was developing a criteria for film submission, um, where I was like asking people like, what do you think is the most underrepresented topic in mental illness and mental health awareness? Like, what's happening in the world that you don't feel you can talk about or you don't feel is being identified? And like the conversation on that alone was just beautiful. Like so many people, so many great things to say, and genuinely like it's amazing. I started seeing all these things that track through. Like, yeah, they're people from different parts in the world, and you know,
Right. I understand.
varying levels of articulation, but like they all said the same things basically. So,
Right. I understand what you mean. Yeah. When like a million people could say, I'm an it's just my thing. I mean, like the
oh,
me
so many questions.
God, I know.
I know.
Um,
Yeah, I'm listening. Sorry.
no, no, it's fine. So easy to get distracted by this. Like sometimes when I was talking to you in part one, I'd be like, okay, okay, wait, huh? And then I go back to
Yeah,
you, like I
yeah.
cut out for like a second, and then I'd be like, oh
They're like
yeah,
all over my face. So I'm
yes,
like,
like
yeah, so I'm like, I'm sure it's flipped on your side or whatever, but like I can see as I'm trying to get them to be smaller and I can't do it. It just pops up again.
I think. Hold on, let me try. I could do that.
Oh
But
no,
I
no,
don't want to do that.
I
No,
like
no,
the
no, I'm not
concept.
gonna
I
do
like the
that. Hold on,
concept.
I'll turn it
Wait,
back
wait, wait.
on. It's like I'm not gonna do that. But I could do that if I wanted to, and I don't. But yeah,
Yeah,
no,
that's a cool feature, but I don't really care
yeah, no,
about my face. I care about the questions. I just see my face and it's distracting.
yeah.
Um,
But
oh,
yeah, what was your favorite song on Amends?
oh yeah. I actually haven't listened to the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
I've heard mixes of probably
Hmm.
half the songs before they were
Okay.
like really mixed.
Yeah.
I only heard probably like two or three songs with Sean personally, and
Okay.
Hawaii. Oh my God, so sorry. Hawaii. My mom got married in Hawaii, and he came to the wedding, of course, and we sat down at a coffee shop, and he played some tunes for me.
Okay.
I finally got to hear his soul song on that, so that was really cool. It was a nice, touching little moment. Sean's always been great. He's just he's just amazing. Just the fact that he did this project and the fact that like he took
Yeah.
the time. He's just like the thing is like he does constantly think about everybody involved, and that's a
Yeah.
lot of people. So it's really nice to
Yeah.
have somebody want to involve me. Any
Yeah.
interaction I've had with Grey Dates has been through Sean. Like he's been the one
Okay.
to ask me. So it's
Okay.
been a very cool little experience, and there's something very wholesome about sitting down and sharing AirPods and like listening to
Yeah.
music you worked on together, or music that you
Right.
were hoping would come out for at that point, 2, 3 years. So it's like,
Right.
it's a pretty cool moment. My favorite
That's
song
dope.
is I don't hmm. My favorite song is probably one I don't know the name of. The thing is like I love harmony.
Yeah.
I'm very aware of it because like I said, I have a composition background, so I'm very like I zone in on the way harmonies are formed and used, and
Right.
um, I just love the '90s, that '90s grunge chord
Yeah.
harmony bullshit. It's just like the way that it's very heavy, it's very like
Right.
dense, it's very different, and so I think it would be hard for me to pick a favorite song.
Hmm.
But also, to be honest, I don't know if I have the bandwidth to sit down and truly listen to it.
Ah.
So I'm willing to admit that. Like, I probably could get through like maybe half the album and be like, that's enough for me. I don't really need to hear anymore.
Ah.
Um, Not because I don't like it, but it's emotionally exhausting. And there's
Oh yeah,
also
I was about to
something
say
about,
yeah.
just hearing it. That's a
Oh yeah.
very powerful thing. So it's like, I could probably do it in multiple sessions. Like
Yeah.
when he passed, I listened to the last LP record. Um,
One more light.
oh yeah, One More Light. Yeah, I couldn't remember if that was the name of the album or the song, but I listened to that
Yeah.
whole thing over a period of like 6 months. Like I would listen to like two songs every now and then, and three songs and every now and then, and like
Wow.
tried to like digest it because I get asked a lot, are you a fan of Linkin Park? Yeah, I'm a fan of Linkin Park, but also
That's your
I
father,
see the
like,
songs
yeah,
being written, I see the songs performed, I see rehearsals, I
yeah,
see all this
yeah,
shit. Like, there's something about being too knowledgeable that's just like,
yeah.
not that your attention is waning, but you don't have the same kind of attention as other people,
I,
right?
yeah,
I would always ask for, what song are you working on? What are you guys doing anything new? Like, what are your demos looking like? I would ask those questions. I would get
right.
answers sometimes, but it's like, um, that's that was probably the most I interacted, and it was kind of also like maybe he won't show me something, like
Yeah, yeah,
like you got to be interested, but you can't be too interested, and
right,
or you don't want to be. I didn't want to be,
right.
but yeah. Sorry,
Oh.
I'm looking at some of these things again. Uh,
It's like looking at like I don't know how to describe it. It's like looking at flies or something. I don't know. Like you could be in a room that's like dull and then just see a fly and that'll catch your attention and you just like want to squash it or whatever. So now I get what you mean.
yeah.
Uh, were all of your siblings asked to perform on Amends or was it just you?
Um, you asked it, so now I get to talk about it.
Okay.
It's a really weird fucking situation, but somebody was asking about Samantha. So, right here, what was your feelings about Sam being associated on the album? Well, let's talk about Draven. I was asked to do the album. Um, Samantha and I do not have a good relationship. We have no relationship.
Okay.
We hate each other, mortal enemies. She's the devil. I don't
Jeez.
like her. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, that's a very strong thing to say, and I'll probably get shit for talking about it. But again, I didn't say it first, so thank you. But Draven came in, and Draven was like, hey, I wanted I want to do the album, like I wanted to be on it because I was there. He wanted to come down and see me and all that
Right.
and work on the album. And it was really cute. He was like, I've never sang in front of anybody. Like, this is so much. Like, and Draven's great.
Yeah.
He's so, like, it was cute. And he was like, can I, like, record, but, like, nobody watch? Like, is that cool? I'm like, well, the producers have to be there. They have to tell you what to do. So it's like, it was just a cool thing. And we actually, I had, like, a little pep talk with him. He was going to do it, and then it didn't happen. I don't know if he ever made it on the album, but when I was, as far as I know, I'm the only one. I might be wrong about that. I might be very wrong about that.
Mm,
But
okay.
Lily and Lila and Tyler all had the option to do it, but I think it was a bit of like, like a parent decision of like, well, is that the best thing for the kids to be in that
Yeah.
environment, especially
Yeah.
so soon after? It was like,
Yeah.
the kids are still dealing with it, and like, Lily and Lila particularly, they're so young. It's like
Yeah.
they were still crying about it and like,
Mm,
feeling very like distraught. So
yeah.
they would say they were fine, and then like they'd be in it, and they'd be like, they're kids, they say they're fine, and then it
Yeah.
happens, and they're
Then
like, oh
yeah.
no, this sucks. It's like, I get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it. Unfortunately, as adults, we don't get the chance to not do it. So it's I didn't really push for it. I was kind of like, well, whatever
Yeah.
Talinda says, and Talinda was like,
Yeah.
I don't really want them doing that yet. But Lily and Lila are very vocal. Like Lily is a little singer and all this stuff. So maybe one day.
Right.
But Draven, we ended up actually, I ended up leaving that night because I just didn't want to be around Sam anymore. So
Okay.
she was like in everybody's business and like not like definitely showboating, and that's the thing, it was showboating, and it was just kind of like, dude, I don't want to be a part of this.
Right. Yeah.
I actually told Draven, I walked up to him and I was like, hey man, like I love you, I'm gonna give you a hug, so good to see you, because I don't get to see him that often.
Right.
And well, actually I don't get to see him at all. And I was like, I'm leaving before your mom finds out that I'm leaving, because I don't want to hug her. I don't want to talk to her. I don't want to do anything. She's going to make me do it. And he literally looked me in the eyes and he was like, go, run, be free. He didn't say that, but the intention was there. It was very much like,
Yeah.
hey, yeah, fine, goodbye. Like, I love you too.
Yeah.
See you later. Please
You're
escape.
right.
And I didn't escape.
Wow.
The rap group, The Game, was
Yeah.
recording in the same studio, and they
Oh
had,
wow.
it's a very small parking lot. They had or not the same studio, but it's the studio but different recording area. So they were in their own area, we were in ours. It's like split into like two parts,
Right.
but um, I didn't know they were there, and I was blocked in. It was very awkward. It was very. I tried to get out. I couldn't get out. I asked them to
Yeah.
move, and they were like, "Who the fuck are you?" Like they were walking. They were walking, and I was like, "Hey guys, like, is this your Jeep? Like, could somebody please, like, I have to get out. You know, it's kind of like a, I just need to go home." And they were just like,
Right.
"What the fuck are you talking to me for?" I'm like, I don't. Is it? It's not your car. It's not your car. I don't know. Like, I'm just asking. So
Right.
it was very funny, and I got blocked in, and she ended up leaving at like before I left, and
Oh, okay.
I was literally like in my car like hiding.
Right.
I tried not to, but I was waiting for them to come out, and they were just like they were just doing their thing, so it's like they weren't coming out,
Right.
and it was really funny, and so that turned into a whole thing, and I don't know if that's why Draven wasn't on the album. Maybe he was, but I have a feeling he wasn't, and I can't tell if it was that moment
Mm.
that I became an issue with
Right.
Sam, that it just didn't happen. So it was like
Right.
it was weird. I don't know if it's a very weird thing. Nobody, I
Yeah.
don't really know if he, he has his own like social media and whatnot, but I don't think he runs it.
Oh.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think he's the one typing shit back there. So uh,
Yeah. Hear what you mean.
the thing is like the kid was like 16, 17. He's saying some things
Uh.
that people don't really say very often, like that age.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just implying it.
Just.
But I know that the kids were given opportunities to do this kind of stuff, but I know that it's very like hit and miss. The kids on this side are just so little that they don't really, you know, they should be focused on not being in a studio and working on
Right.
albums and stuff. But I know that I'm going to have Lily and Lila on my album. So
Aw.
yeah, it's gonna be
Okay.
cute. Yeah.
That's
Um,
sweet.
what do I drink? Is that a question? What am I drinking? I'm drinking coffee. Um, what do I drink?
So.
It's coffee. It's coffee. But I never say no to a little whiskey. So um, but yeah,
um.
I know there's a question on there right now that's asking if I'm going to do an album at some point, and my answer to that is that I am currently working on an EP, and then I'm working on an album, and once those two things are done, I'm never probably touching music like that again. So
Seriously? Dang.
yeah, I just like I said, it's time by time. Like right now, that's where I'm at in my head,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it's going to be something like probably 30 songs or whatever, and then I'm probably just going to go do something else.
Right.
So,
Okay.
you guys want to know how Toby's doing so bad. Um,
How many siblings? You said you have 8 siblings,
Toby,
right?
I
I'm
do,
just.
yeah. I have Tyler, Lily, Lila, Isaiah, um, my well, Draven, and then I have my sister Abby, my sister Valerie, and Devin, and then I have like two honorary sisters. So I have my like cousin who I've grown up with my entire life. She's my
Right.
sister. That's Alyssa. And then I have my cousin who's actually my little sister. Love her very much, and she's her name's Ayana. So I have like 10 siblings tentatively.
That's-
Again, not all of them are biologically related. I tend to I'm very much like families where the heart is and who loves you and all that. So,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
there are certain people
I get what
that,
you mean.
you know, um, but yeah.
But if there's any questions you guys have, everything's been answered. Jamie, you've been doing an amazing job. Just want to let you
Yeah.
know you're doing great. Thank you
Yeah,
for
thanks for
doing
having me,
this,
man.
man. this is a surreal experience for me. Like I was saying before he came on, I was like, someone pinch me, man. Like I can't believe
Yeah.
I'm doing this. Like, but yeah, if anyone has any questions real quick they'd like to ask him before we get off, go ahead.
Yeah.
Someone said,
Ask me anything.
what
Literally anything. Okay. Anyways.
do you think about Dead by Sunrise? What do you
Fucking
think about
hell.
Dead by Sunrise?
Um, I think it's a little morbid in retrospect, but no, I think it was pretty good. I think it was. I know of creative differences that my dad had with it, so my
Mm,
opinion's a bit different than maybe it should be because I
yeah,
know what was going on back there. But I think I liked it. It's an interesting pop rock record.
yeah.
I think there's some moments on it, but I don't know if it's my favorite of his
Ah,
albums.
okay.
Um, there's a lot of like heartfelt stuff on it, you know. Like I believe on that album is the song he wrote to Linda for their wedding.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's really sweet. I don't remember what the name of the song is, but I know what it sounds like, and I
Right,
don't know what it sounds like enough to hum it to you, or I would,
right,
but I
right.
don't. So,
Do
um,
you keep in touch with the guys from Lincoln Park?
do I? Yeah, yeah. I send them stuff when I'm working on when I actually have demos. I sent Brad and Mike like a whole demo list like 6 months ago, 7 months ago. Oh my God, man,
Oh,
that's more like 9 months ago now. But yeah, I sent them a bunch of demos and I was like, hey, what do you think? Like, is it good? Um,
yeah. Oh,
of
they tell us
course,
the name of the song. Give me your name. Was the wedding song? Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. But okay, that's cool. I'm glad you keep up with them.
yeah,
So,
they're family. So,
okay.
so
That's
yeah,
dope.
it's I'm sorry, I got confused again. I'm looking at the comments. There's so many. Everybody's like blah 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 blah. Fuck, what were we talking about?
You keep up with the I just said
Yes,
I think it's
yes,
yeah.
them. They're basically family. I mean, they are family. Mike is my uncle. Brad is my uncle. Some of them I don't talk to as much, but I love them just the same.
Oh,
You know, Joe and you know, just all of them. They're just awesome.
that's
Um,
cool.
so Mike's usually pretty good. I'm friends with Anna. A lot of my um, writing, I'll pass by her and
Okay.
just get that proofread. Um, so she's definitely fun to talk to, and I when I lived in California, I would go hang out with them a lot more, but I don't see
Right.
them because I'm in Arizona. Um,
Right. I get what you mean.
yeah, and then let's see here. What the fuck are you guys all? You guys all said the same thing at once.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Um,
um,
I don't know how my grandma's doing. I called her about COVID, and she's running a hospital down in Page, so it's a bit wild.
yeah.
Um, I'm not talking about Toby, um, but I will tell you that we're not friends. Um, and do I have it? My family's crazy, dude. My family's crazy. It's they're crazy. They're crazy. It's just
I
like
was about to say, yeah.
some of them are just like you're like, what the fuck goes on in my
Right. Yeah, I
head?
get what you mean.
Um, Linda, is she pregnant? I don't think so. That's an interesting question to ask me. I don't know. Um, let's just say ask her. Uh, as a five piece, I don't know what that means. A five piece with who? Yeah, Talinda. Michael's awesome. Talinda's husband is
Okay.
awesome. He's a firefighter, first responder, biggest
Okay.
heart. He's so fucking cool.
I'm
Um,
glad you get along with them. I was kind of wondering that too. I didn't want to
yeah,
ask it to make you feel weird or anything.
it was a
So
weird. I'm not gonna lie. The relationship was a little weird at first because I was so suspicious of everybody else at that
yes.
point because
Yeah.
that was like things were just cooling off with all the fan outrage and shit. So it was like,
Yeah.
I don't know who this guy is. And that's literally it. I just didn't know who he was. But when I got to meet him, he was just phenomenal. And he continues to be um, such a nice
Right.
guy and the biggest heart. Um, my music, I have a SoundCloud. It's all concert right now. There are no songs. A
Okay, great.
five-piece with the Linkin Park Kids. Oh, wait, no, I read that separate. That was weird.
Five
I was
concert
like,
with Linkin
no,
Park.
actually, we were gonna make a band with all the dogs.
Okay.
We were gonna call it Linkin Bark, but we're not gonna do that anymore.
uh,
What 320 is really important too. 320, everybody involve yourself. I think that's a good,
okay.
that's a good two things. My closing notes are stop being mean to Michael and stop being mean to my mom. You guys are just mean. Just don't do it. If you guys aren't
Right.
doing it, I'm not talking to you. But if you
Right.
are doing it, stop doing it. It's just rude. But also, Michael has to change shit all the time on social media because people are mean to him. People like fans.
Wait, what do you mean? Like he has to change like what do you
Yeah,
mean
like his
change? Like
name and everything. He has to constantly be moving because people are assholes to him. So stop fucking doing it. That's about as
yeah,
nice
y'all
as I'm
gotta
gonna be
chill.
about it. Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Knock it off. And then also 320 is a really big deal, and everybody deserves that kind of information. I don't know. Do you know what 320 is?
I've heard about it, but I don't know too much about it. I
Well,
don't y'all don't attack me. I don't know too
no,
much
no,
about
no. It's
it.
cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
But that's the point, right? So we just share it and we let everybody know, and then you can tell your friends. But 320 is
Right.
an organization my mom started after my dad passed, focused on
Hmm.
mental health and mental health
That's good.
awareness.
Good.
And it's essentially its ultimate goal is to build a resource that anybody can access at any time to get help for themselves, to get help for people they don't know how to help,
Yeah.
and ultimately, we want to be that resource that connects all the resources. But 320 Festival is going on this weekend, I believe, and it's all online now. But
Right.
I believe they locked Echo Smith. I saw that. That was pretty cool. They're great. They're
Oh,
wonderful,
nice.
wonderful people. And they have a ton of panels on like mental health and mental health awareness and all this stuff. So, tune into that if you guys are struggling. I know quarantine is real fucking hard. It's hard to be
Yeah.
stuck in one spot. It's draining
Yeah.
me.
Oh
I saw a
yeah.
comment earlier about, well, you have so many siblings, you're never alone. That could be further from the truth. I love my siblings, but everybody should be aware that mental health, that fucks with you a lot, and that has nothing to do with
Yeah.
who's around you. You can be loved
True. Yep.
by so many people, and you can still
So
not
many.
understand it, and you can still not connect, and
Yes.
it's not
Hmm.
anybody's fault. So, you know, um, I encourage you to go take a look at 320. 320 Festival is happening May 9th still. I can't remember if it's 8, 9, 10, or 9. Go look at it. It's all online. It's all free, I believe.
Right.
So, just tune in and look. There are roundtables with like industry professionals and health experts, and
That's awesome.
it's
Yeah.
really great. So, if you guys are struggling, which you probably are, then go get help. Go check out something. Go see if anything works for you. If it doesn't, that's great feedback, and let us know what worked and what didn't work because ultimately we want to help everybody. Um,
Yep.
it, that's a
Well.
really broad statement, but we're
Yeah.
important, and you're important, and you're important. So,
Absolutely.
you know,
But yeah, guys, I think uh that'll be it. Jamie,
yeah,
again, thank you so much. I'll definitely stay in touch with you. It was pretty fun to
yeah,
do.
yeah. Please do.
Yeah, so yeah, so but yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming, Jamie. Like I said, thank you so much. This means the absolute world to me. I was just looking at part one, how many views that did, and the views were absolutely insane. Like I've
Yeah,
never gotten
it
that
is
many
going up.
views, and
It's going up and up
yeah,
and up.
it's like I've
Yeah,
never like even now it's probably gonna be more than part one. Like I'm just
yeah,
starstruck. So thank you so much for helping me. I had a goal of interviewing 5 people before May, and you're the fifth person, so I
ah,
reached my goal.
awesome.
Another goal was I was supposed to get 500 followers on Instagram by the end of 2020, and I reached that today. So I'm just freaking out. Like
That's
this is
awesome,
crazy.
man. That's great.
Yes.
Well, any way I can
So,
help you out, let me know. I mean, I'm
abs-
serious too. Like,
yeah,
I'll give you my number.
yeah.
We'll
Okay.
we'll
Awesome.
like we're friends now. So don't, you know,
Bet. Awesome.
I'll help
So
you as much as I can, and thanks for having me, and
absolutely.
yeah.
All right. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Jamie. I'll see you later, and
See ya.
talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.